Well, the weather's today, the weather is totally crazy. I was waiting for a load, sitting at Starbucks, and it was very hot in the morning. So it was very hot in the morning. Okay, let me shut down the engine. And so I left the windows just a little bit open on each side, and I'm sitting at the Starbucks, having like up-teens type of cup of coffee because it started raining, and I'm reading a book. I just bought like a thriller. I'm really enjoying the book, and I'm checking the loads online, trying to help my dispatch. And then it just hits me, wait a second, I think I left the windows partially open. And it's raining like cats and dogs, and all I had to do was maybe, 30 feet, 10 meters from the coffee shop to the car, and I see water like now, you see like this, but there was much more water everywhere. My poor kettlebell was all wet, and that stuff, that's from the back seat, it was all wet. Over here was all water. But thankfully my business cards did not suffer, and my protein powder was okay. But by the way, once again, that's why I like leather, because it's so easy. I took an old t-shirt, I had it lying in there, I cleaned it up, and it's all dry. If these were fabric seats, I'd really be in trouble. Now, we're doing this as a trucking video because it has to do with trucking in the regard that I've been getting really anxious to get going. The last and only load I did with my shiny new Fontaine drop set drill 55-ton lowboy /RGN /float /moneymaker was delivered on Monday, August 15th, and today is August 25th. So you guys probably guessed, that's why I was flying the drone and kicking back, relaxing, because there was no good loads. But then now, the time comes, you gotta pay the bills, right? The bank, or actually my financial company, at the end of the month, they don't care what the rate per mile is of a load I'm doing, right? Like, I can be doing $1 per mile, but as long as I have the money required to pay for the truck, trailer, the car, insurance, health insurance, stuff like that, everybody's happy. And that's when you start looking at cheaper options. So today I was, and actually yesterday, I started looking in earnest at all these online, whatever's available for free online in terms of loads. And I found some, but they all involved long deadhead, at least 500 miles. Mostly I would have to go into US 500 miles and pick up something that goes to a totally different part of Canada, which is very bad in terms of loads. So basically you got to do deadhead. Those are the worst loads, where you have to deadhead to get to the shipper, and then you drive across the country to a totally dead area where probably you'd have to deadhead out of there again, and if you take all that into consideration, especially since with the lowboy trailer, a lot of these loads are oversized, right? So there's lots of permits. So, and I call them and they give me the rate, and then I pass it over to my dispatch. But then of course all the cost of permits is taken off off the top of the rate that the broker is willing to pay, and then my percentage is less than 100, right? So the company I'm leased to takes their percentage, and then I take my percentage, and then there's all this fuel that I gotta burn first on empty miles and loaded miles, and then again on empty miles to get back to a good area where there's gonna be a load, and not much is left, you know. And I found probably what 2 or 3 loads like that, and I talked to dispatch, and we all agreed that, you know, it's just not worth you know, my time. So that's what's happening. 10 days. But yeah, they say it's slow. It is slow. We'll see, but usually Wednesday, in my experience, Wednesday is the best day of the week when you get a load, either for Wednesday or for Thursday, for Friday, it doesn't matter. But usually Wednesday, that's when people wake up, like the brokers, the shippers, you know, because Monday they all have asleep, Friday they all have drunk, but Tuesday they're just starting to get out of their sleep. But so Wednesday, Thursday are usually the best days. But Wednesday is number 1, and Thursday I would say number 2, in my experience, in all companies. Mondays you can just basically forget about work and don't even show up, like I used to when I used to work for McKinnon. You know, yeah, I drive my car in the morning and sit there in the driver's lounge waiting for a dispatch to call me, and I don't know why we did that. You know, it's like I felt like I had to be at work, and then we would sit there till like 12 or 1 o'clock p.m., you know, just shooting the breeze with other guys, drinking coffee, and then, okay, you can go home. So Mondays are always dead. So no load so far, and I cannot fly the drone. Actually, yesterday, I want to tell you guys about another adventure. I was waiting for the end of the day because I was checking the wind forecast. Now I'm an expert on wind, because it's just too difficult to fly the drone when it's you know, windy. And I noticed that every time the best part of the day to fly that thing is either early in the morning or before the sunset. That's when the wind subsides. And yesterday it was okay, there was no rain, so I wanted to do a flyby over a truck stop here. And I did some pre-planning in my mind. I knew where to park the car, you know, what I wanted to do, like show, like give you guys some nice shots of the trucks. And there's a Peterbilt dealer in there, so I thought I would kill two birds with one stone. I would show, you know, brand new Pete's parked at the dealer, and then I would show the actual, you know, truckers' trucks parked at the truck stop. And I had this plan in my mind, like a director, you know, make it cool, add some music. I'm all excited, so I start driving there. And it's about, oh, and there's a Volvo dealer on the other side, a huge Volvo dealer, but I already showed you Volvo trucks, right? So I didn't want to show that because that was like over the freeway. It was pretty far, but the Peterbilt dealer is right there next to the truck stop. See, it's raining pretty bad again, and so I'm driving there. And then I see a sign that says, exit so-and-so closed. Look for alternate routes. What? I thought maybe I didn't catch the name of the road properly, but I know that's the name of the road where I'm supposed to take an exit to get to the truck stop. And I thought, no, it cannot be. Like, I don't remember any construction over there. But I didn't go that way, you know, for a long time. And sure enough, when I'm getting to that exit where I'm supposed to go to the truck stop, just, you know, west of here, of Cambridge, there's pylons. It says exit closed, and there's no other way. Like, to get to that truck stop, the next exit was about 20 kilometers away, or, you know, 12 miles, 13 miles. I was so upset, you know, like, it's just, you know, you're killing time, all for nothing. So I drove 20 kilometers that way, took an exit, went over the bridge, jumped back on the freeway, and drove back, and at least that exit was open. So I just wasted like, you know, half an hour at least of my life. Because, you know, that sign was not duplicated, it was just once on the side of the road, electronic sign. Jeez, look at this. People are running around, one guy is walking like it's nothing. So anyway, so I parked there at the truck stop, but there's people in there, you know, there's lots of people, and I see there's people in the trucks, and there's people behind me, people next to me, and it started getting dark. All of a sudden, like these clouds, like for this rain, were coming in. But it didn't rain, the wind was low, but I sat there and somehow I didn't feel comfortable, you know, flying the Phantom just over trucks, because I know when it's like brand new trucks, I know there's no people inside, but still, you gotta be careful and, you know, stay away from them, right? But at the truck stop, I know, especially during like a work day, I just didn't like it. So I didn't do anything. I sat there for like 10-15 minutes thinking, and then I decided just to go home. So I didn't do any footage recently, so this is the first video I do in a few days. Yeah, what else I did today was a friend of mine in the States wants to buy a Volvo heavy haul truck. And I said, hey, maybe you should buy it in Canada. Maybe in Canada it's cheaper for you. And he says, oh, maybe you can, you know, see what the pricing is. And so I went online to one of our, you know, online, it's like magazine with kind of like truck paper, only a Canadian version. And I saw a couple of trucks in there with heavy axles like Volvo. And I called the number in the ad and I said, you know, here's what's happening. I have a guy I know in the States and we want to see if it's cheaper to buy here. And so he gave me a quote, like roughly, like a rough quote. And that's what, this is a VNX 630 Volvo with a 550 horse DD16. I don't know the torque, but it's I-shift, so automated transmission. 16K steer axle, 46 rears, just 3-axle truck with a small sleeper. What is it, like, you know, 630? It's 61 inch or 62 inch or 60 inches, right? But bigger than mine in the Mac, but still relatively small. So this one was, I think, 182 Canadian, 182,000 Canadian dollars. And then you add the 13% Ontario tax and divide by 1.3, and that's your US dollars. And then when I asked the guy what would be the price for a 4-axle truck with a bigger sleeper, so basically a pusher axle and VNX 730, which is 70-inch sleeper, and he said that one would take about 3 months to build, and they want $5,000 Canadian down, non-refundable, just to start the build. And that one, I already did the conversion. So Canadian dollars plus 13% divided by 1.3. And that truck right now here costs 175,000 US dollars. So 4-axle truck, oh, and 600 horsepower engine. Volvo VNX 730 I-shift, 16K front, 46 rear, and 20K pusher. So I thought you guys might want to know that. And just as a comparison, my truck, I didn't calculate the US dollars, but in the fall of 2014, my 4-axle truck with a small sleeper, what is it, 56 inches? And 18-speed manual transmission, but front axle 14.6, 46 drives, and 20K pusher, 505 horsepower, so smaller engine, but 1860 torque, was 144,000 Canadian. So plus tax, 13% divided by 1.3, that's your US dollars. So, but I think it was like 35-40% cheaper than what they want now for the Volvo here. So pretty expensive if you want to get into heavy haul. So lots of money. All right, so this was a quick update. So I'm still waiting. Maybe I'll get lucky and get a load for tomorrow, Monday. We'll see. So then definitely I'll post an update and show you guys loading and unloading, how I secure. Maybe do like a flyby with the drone. So stay cool, stay dry, and keep watching.